spent around 30 million euro for our first few hundreds of machines in Poland. After the deployment, the average revenue from that product was 500 euro a month. I was banged, I was pushed to shut it down. It will never work, it will never fly. Almost 1 billion parcels delivered last year, growing much faster than the local markets. 9 countries, more than 33,000 machines already on the ground, accelerating year by year.
Thank you so much for joining us, Rafał. It's really a pleasure to get your take because as a business that looks at customer care and technology and talent solutions, e-commerce is one of the big drivers of ultimately the whole market that we address. And you are really, it seems, in the market which sells the picks and shovels for this industry. So can you tell us, how did you ultimately start with the idea that what InPost does today was this specific direction to take the business at a point where several years ago you were in a lot of things and you saw this
is the bright future.
This is the path.
It was proven by the numbers. So of course, first development of our parcel lockers of InPost in Poland, that was not a success at all. Anecdotally, I may say we spent around 30 million euro for our first few hundreds of machines in Poland, and after a few months of the deployment, the average revenue from that product was 500 euro a month. So you can imagine that I was literally on every supervisory board, I was banged, I was pushed to shut it down. It will never work, it will never fly. But I had that, I may say, gut feeling, but also a kind of conviction that the market is broken. And because the market is broken with traditional door-to-door delivery, we need to change that. And of course, there were many pitfalls down the road, but at the end of the day, my conviction, support of my team, also convinced that this is, something which will be flying, was giving us the breakthrough at the end of the day. And now, of course, this is a main focus for us. This is 9 countries, almost 1 billion parcels delivered last year, growing much faster than the local markets. 9 countries, more than 33,000 machines already on the ground, accelerating year by year. So of course now all the others are following us, which is again super motivating, because we want to run faster than them to create even bigger gap between us and the chasers.
I think your story really shows that Eastern Europe is able to create pan-European champions that can take on the incumbents or the businesses of the past, and that really it's not also just about the distribution capacity of the historical incumbents. So did you ever feel you could do it, and how did you get here?
Being very frank, the beginning, my dream was to be a significant player in Poland. Then my dream was be number 1 in Poland. Then my dream is be number 1 in Europe. And I'm super inspired by Spotify story, because this was also, pretty small country. Of course, Scandinavia is not CE, but still it's a kind of outskirts of the main core European markets. We have several great companies in Baltics. Look at Vinted, for instance. Yeah. So I think we are hard-working nations. We have many years of communism, and now we want to catch up. And I think we are setting the tone right now. And the old market players are, in my opinion, unable to be so agile as our companies from CE. And that, I think, gives us extreme energy to run even faster and be successful. So yes, I think the moment for CE-based companies being challengers of the old-fashioned style players in the old continental Europe is something what I really like.
Your business really on a European level could also be seen as a thermometer for the industry of the clients.
Yes.
And obviously that thermometer went from fever to cold, but you just keep on growing on that back of the side infrastructure side. But how do you see the industry on the client side developing?
Literally, normalization, post-COVID normalization is visible across the markets. We are the only bright spot, I would say, on the map when you look at the financial results of the big
it took some time for the investors to get this differentiation.
Yes, they realized that InPost is different than traditional logistics. Some of the analysts already they've created a separate category, logistics e-commerce enabler. And we are the only company so far there. We don't have any peers. Infrastructure / customer-centric, technology-driven. That's how I would define that category. And that's great. Being a kind of new trendsetter is giving us ability to grow even faster. How I see the market, I think market in 2024 still will be under pressure on the consumer spending. So the first symptoms of improvement, I think we'll see end of this year, beginning of 2025. But then again, we want to grow faster than the markets are bouncing back.
So let me go to the hot topic of AI. And you shared some examples of all the impressive outcomes that you get from AI. But going to customer experience and customer centricity, it's been around automation, digitalization, it's been around. And from a customer perspective, it's, as we just heard, very different experiences of both bad and good. But ultimately, how much do you see of the implication of these digitalizing processes on the customer experience?
You know, I think good balance is something what we should always see in front of us. So without AI, I can't imagine current development of the especially tech-driven companies. But being too much into it is not so first healthy. Secondly, will not bring you tangible results on every single dimension. So smartly using that technology in certain points like customer care, like digitalization of the paper documents, or like with us, we're using AI for forecasting of the volume on literally live basis, to properly set up all the logistics components, elements like vans, big trucks to move the parcels between the depots. It's changing because the volume is not every single day the same. So optimization of that element gave us 20 million euros savings just last year, and we want to continue that, to be even more engaged with those tools into bringing our best-in-class results for investors. But as I said, let's not over-engineer things. I'm in that group of observers or users that the proper regulation, not strict, proper regulation is needed. And each and every company has to find its own way, how I want to use AI to improve my business and customer satisfaction. Because for me, at the end of the day, customer satisfaction, the NPS, is the critical outcome.
Finally, as a champion now in Poland and CE, how do you think about reinvesting on the profit and the non-profit side back into the region that was the foundation of the success?
I love that question, because I think this is also linked a little bit to our CE history. We are so busy now in catching up and earning money and trying really to develop us as humans, but also our companies, that very often we don't remember that there's only one life. And at the end of the day, when you stand in front of the mirror with your late, I hope, 90s or even more than 90s, it would be great to give yourself an answer. This was really a very fruitful, very interesting, and very good life, and I'm a good human because I helped during my whole life a lot to those who were unable to create what I've created. And what's even more important, we very often listen to those stories where global billionaires, they are saying, yeah, I will donate 99% of my private wealth after my death. The real heroes are people who are giving back their personal wealth during their life. So I'm giving back more and more, jointly with my wife. I think we are creating now a proper setup, philanthropic setup for the business in Poland, but we would love to expand it. So I'm literally inviting all the CE-based entrepreneurs to join us in that mission, because again, like we have proven in the business area, we may prove in the philanthropy area that we are challengers.
Innovation.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
We
you.
look forward to
Thank you.
following you.
Thank you.